I was born and brought up in a middle class family in a remote town in California. My dad was head of NASA, the space shuttle program, and we grew up seeing a lot of amazing creative ideas. We saw a lot of innovation. We saw a lot of science. We also saw a lot of experiments. It was really remarkable as a family growing up and seeing these things. But I still struggled to achieve my goals in life. I was fighting against all these unconscious generational beliefs that kind of just was really piled on top of our family. But I also, took on all of these beliefs and ideas and experiences onto myself. And I faced all kinds of challenges. I was highly sensitive. I was really bullied in life, so I felt like I think born as a victim, There's those people who are very sensitive, very delicate, very fragile, or very unique and very creative, and they get really burdened early on in life by other people who think it is their right to judge you or hurt you or harm you. So, as I explained early on in this video, I faced all kinds of challenges. I was held captive. I suffered from a human trafficker's abuse and torture, near death. And after I got out, I suffered from severe health issues, physical pain, severely chronic physical pain. I nearly died. I suffered financial hardships, severe emotional, mental health issues. I had brain damage, and I had forgotten so much. I had to teach myself how to learn again, how to think again, how to speak in full sentences again. And yes, I struggled professionally as well as personally in my life for many, many years. And I was working really, really, really hard and always struggling to get by. And I'd always get frustrated and I'd start crying and go, why am I going through so much hardship? Why am I hurting so much? Why am I so resentful? Why am I so angry? Why am I so much pain? Why am I feeling all of this? Why am I struggling? Well, when I started to learning and applying the law of attraction, yeah, things started getting a little bit better. But they weren't really going into the realm of the impossible and the miraculous or magical. They weren't really creating the kind of joy and success. And I still kept feeling stuck. I'd get stuck. And then I'd fall into a very toxic, negative vortex of deep seated depression. And I always wondered why some people are really successful and why many people really struggle like me, and what was going wrong, and why we're working so hard and we're giving our very best, but we're not really achieving anything. And or even if it's happening in very, very small, narrow areas where small little wishes and dreams are coming true, but the big things we're still missing out on. And then what happened was my business went belly up, my ex's business went belly up, and then my ex-husband disappeared with our life savings, left me and my 3 kids with nothing, and we lost everything. And it was a very hard next few years while I struggled in dealing with my anger, my resentment, my history of trauma and abuse, and why this was happening to me, and my victimhood. And finally, I just took power back. I took my responsibility back, and I said, no, this is no longer how it's going to be. And that's when I discovered how to master the law of delight. And I recommitted to applying it and working through my stuff and investing in understanding every bit of how it works and how we got to, decompress the mental junk in our trunk and dump it. Get rid of it. Oh, it's no longer a value to me. Get rid of that old story. I'm going to start telling myself a new story, and I'm going to delight every minute of the day in that new story. And I'm going to tell about myself. And I'm going to tell about my life. And I'm going to tell about my relationships. And I'm going to tell about my world and tell about my universe. And I decided I was going to start sharing that new story with other people. And I started learning how this all applies to the laws of success, the laws of power, the laws of creation, and the laws of reality manifestation. And I saw so many people being misinformed about how the law of attraction works. And I was so frustrated because there's so many easier ways to do this about healing and transforming ourselves. And it can turn on a dime for you. And that's what the 7-day course is about. And I firmly, firmly believe that our net worth is totally determined by our sense of self-worth. And net worth doesn't have anything to do with financial net worth. It has to do with the whole connection of net worth, the net value of your relationships and what they give to you experience-wise and value-wise, and how they impact you, how they shift you, how they grow you. The net value of our acts of creation and what we share to the world. Picasso once said that the meaning of life is to find and discover your gift. And the purpose of life is to give it away. And so many of us, we're so afraid to claim and name our gift. We're so afraid to claim and name our value. We're so afraid to claim and name who we are and what we do. We're so afraid to be fully self-expressed. We're so afraid to be fully embodied. We're so afraid of ourselves and our power that we would rather live in victimhood and weakness and say, well, it's not working for me, so it's all a whole bunch of hooey and bunk, and I'm not doing this. So here's what I'm going to say. We have to feel worthy and deserving and believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have immense value to give and share to the world and the universe and ourselves and each other. Because while net worth can fluctuate, well, it fluctuates directly in correlation to our sense of self-worth and our sense of value, our sense of deserving, our sense of guilt, and our sense of shame. And shame is something that really holds a lot of people back. It really locks a lot of people down. And if you're being locked down by shame and guilt, right here, this course is going to help you unleash that too. We have a right, a divine birthright to pursue happiness, to pursue our education, to delight ourselves, to master our gifts and talents and share it with the world. We actually have a divine responsibility to share ourselves with the world, to share our value with each other, and to open up to receive all our dreams and desires. We have actually a divine responsibility to do that. You have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to your family, to your loved ones, and to the people you serve, to receive your dreams and desires. And if you're martyring yourself or you're holding back or you're trying to suffer for other people, well, I'm telling you, you're doing a disservice not only to you, you're doing a disservice to everyone around you, because you're not standing up and claiming what you're really here for. You're not standing up and claiming who you're really here to be and what you're really here to do and what you're really here to experience and how you're really here to live.